What is up, guys? You're tuning into this Okiru podcast. I'm your co-host, Jasper, and we thank you so much for spending this time with us. We hope you enjoy this episode. Make sure to follow us on our socials at okiru.apparel on Instagram, Okiru on Facebook, Okiru on YouTube, and also Okiru on major platforms such as Spotify and Apple Music. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We hope you enjoy.
Okiru.
All right, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Okiru podcast. Today we are joined by an amazing person, Mr. Lacekickz himself. Welcome to the Okiru podcast. How are you doing, Kuya?
I'm good. I'm not amazing yet.
You are amazing, man. You're amazing. Just the stuff that you're doing for us. It's amazing.
I'm just gonna do my little intro, yeah?
Yes, okay, no worries.
For those people that's listening, welcome to our collaboration podcast with Okiru. This is Dr Lacekickz, and yes, I am based from Sydney, Australia.
That's it.
Before we start, I want to give a shout out to all the Filipinos out there.
Feel of pride. Let's go. Represent. That's it, Kuya. So, we got connected like last year, and we ever since we've been collaborating together and working together. I just want to ask, how did this whole idea come from? This Lacekickz building the community, where this all come from?
Well, pretty much for me, I wanted to have some ways and have a sample where people can pick it up and bring it to another level where everyone is helping each other, not stepping on each other, right?
Yeah.
For me, there's no such a thing as a competition, right? It's about helping each other. Whoever goes up there, bring some back up too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So pretty much my target was, and to my community, is bringing each other up.
Yes. Yeah. Have you always had this idea that your page or brand would become like this? What was the idea beforehand? Like, where did Lacekickz start?
From Soul Slam.
Soul Slam. So
Yes.
what's the, give us a little bit of story behind that.
Well, back in 2000, I think it was 2000 and not even 2014, 13, I think. That's before I started Lacekickz. I was in Soul Slam community.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, wow, he's doing good. This guy's that's even before we met, right? Mr. Soul Slam. I'll give a shout out to Antonio, by the way. and pretty much because I've loved sneakers. I followed Soul Slam. I got into the community around here, and pretty much I met Jay. Yeah, so shout out to the TKS, and Jay, and pretty much started my own community in 2015.
Yeah.
And my target was because I was seeing other people, like on pages here, there's people that, I don't know, man, let's say they're not showing enough love for these young people, right? The newcomers.
Yeah.
Instead of teaching them the right way, they're just brushing them off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of thought, why? I'll focus something, I'll build something that's like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something that'll make people free and welcome, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I did that, and pretty much everything that we do has backfired, right? It will come to something that you'll make a mistake. I've done a mistake, and I've learned for it. I'm still doing mistakes, right? I cannot deny that. You know what I mean? And I'm still learning at the same time. I'm learning every time, and there's a way that I've actually kind of have contacts on the other side of the world, and I think gaining and learning things from them was another credit from me. And I think all the people that's listening now, if you want to do something, get up and do it. Don't just think about it.
Yeah.
Get up and do it.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's really important. You gotta get started somehow. Like the other day, we had on the podcast another one of our friends who started a business, and one things he was saying is like, if you're not embarrassed about what you post, it's already too late. Like you gotta start
Yes.
somewhere. And we were reflecting on the years we started and look back on where we started. We're like, oh my God, this was embarrassing. I can't believe we thought this was good back in the day.
Nah, you don't
And
need to.
yeah, but like it shows that level of growth. Like if
Yes.
you, it shows how much you
How
learn.
much you've grown. Yeah, you've
Yeah,
gained. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and that needs to happen, and that only happens when you get started. Like
That's same as mistakes. You
exactly.
learn from
Yeah.
it, right? So
Yeah, yeah. And we got to make mistakes. If we don't make mistakes, man, are we
you don't
really
learn.
doing exactly? Yeah. Yeah. So, have you always had this mindset of wanting to help and teach the younger people, or when did that change for you?
um, let's say the history back, I wasn't really accepted here. So
Mm.
this is how I've gained friendship from the other side of the world, right? And out of Australia. But things happen and I did
Mm.
accept that and I did move on. But I think, it's time for me to show the love back
Yeah.
here, you know what I mean? I don't usually I don't hate. I can't hate anyone,
Mm.
you know what I
Mm.
mean? And that's part of my mission too, because I had an experience from the years.
Mm.
And for me, I think it was blessing that it did happen, because if it didn't, I wouldn't be where I am now. Let's
Mm.
say,
Mm.
yes, I might not have put out too much clothing and that yet, but I think for me, I'm much focused on how to build. You know, they call it tribe,
Mm. The tribes. Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
part of that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of the community, a part of your tribe. It's a blessing to be connected to people such as yourself who want to build these communities that uplift and help each other. I think that's
Mm,
that's really important. Like you said, it's it's something we need more of these days, especially today, right?
mm,
We're seeing wars and all these divisions in the world. So
mm.
it's we need these times to have these people to look where we can find that safety, that love that we want to, I guess, share and provide, right?
Mm.
So, obviously, like you've grown so much since the beginning. How
I haven't yet. I mean, I haven't even thrown a sneaker trade show yet.
Hey, it doesn't mean you're
but
not that big, but
but one person has said this to me. I don't really need to put a trade show. Pretty much,
mm,
it's about myself putting out there.
mm,
So I
mm,
guess that was right.
yeah,
Because he said to me, like, I can't really say who it is, but he's doing most of the show in the States.
mm,
But he said pretty much, like trade show and sneaker show are just, you know, pocketing people's money, right? Which is true. You gotta
mm,
pay entry fees and all that. So he said to me, you're not eating people's money by lifting them up, are you?
yeah,
And I said, no.
yeah,
And he goes, there you go. And I said,
mm,
wow. and he's one of them guys that does the trade show all the time.
mm,
So,
mm,
and it's coming from him.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? So, and pretty much, like I said, like I have, I had people like Joe LaPuma that I
mm,
spoke with. Remember I told you the other day I
yeah,
spoke to
yeah,
him. Well, the thing is, he said to me the other day, you trying to get me on IGTV, you're trying to get me on podcast. Look, you don't need to expose pretty much that we know each other, which is true, right? He goes, I want you to learn from my idea because I'm out here doing you guys watching, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And I said, yes, that's actually right.
mm,
And he's actually giving me lectures saying that you don't need to prove much that you have this, you have that, but you need to
yeah.
expose a bit more about yourself and how you feel of what you're doing, which is true.
Mm, yeah. Instead of like piggybacking off people's reputation, you're building that
Yes,
reputation for
for
yourself.
yourself, yes.
Yeah.
And that's
Wow.
actually there's three people that said that the same week, and it kind of
Mm.
clicked me. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. I guess, yeah, like that's something you have to realize, like ourselves is on this journey, you don't want to live a reputation that is based on everyone else's. You want to build something of
Yes,
your own
of your
story,
own.
you
Yes,
know? I think that's, yeah, that's very profound. That's a very profound like
it
learning
clicked
right
me. I
there.
was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's heavy. And I
That's,
never thought of
yeah. Yeah.
that.
Yeah, now, no, now that you say that, like I'm thinking about that too. Like, you know, we shouldn't be backing off other people's reputation just because you've been able to talk to someone who's got this status or owns this and
Yes,
that. Like, it should be all for the love of telling the
of
story.
the yes.
Yeah, of the purpose above everything else. Wow, I just learned something as well just from this, just from talking to you.
Trust
So
me,
yeah.
I was sitting there going, man, like I said,
Mm,
those three people that said it, I was trying to get him all in
yeah,
one podcast.
yeah.
And at the same night that I was bugging them, they said it to me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it kind of hit me. I was like, man, that is facts.
Yeah,
Well,
it is.
because
It's
you know, one of them said, you know, they make money just showing on that YouTube. You know what I
mm,
mean? And for me, I need to actually build that kind of thing where people needs to know about me and knowing them that we
yeah,
have that kind of things because we, you know, people. He even said you don't need 100 people to believe you. You only
yeah,
need 10 people to believe you, right?
exactly. Yeah. It's like it's not about the it's that saying of quantity or quality over quantity, you know. It's you better have it's better to have a quality friends that's smaller than a
Yeah,
mass group of friends that you don't even, you know, have a good
like a
relationship with.
tribe, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So no, that's really cool. Like uh, yeah, like if you think about, I guess they tell that story because maybe they were in that situation as like us, like they
Yes.
were trying to do the same. And it's just that like building your own story yourself, that's important because you get to
Mm.
own it fully. You get to own all of it. So no, that's really okay. Wow. I'm just blown away by that. So
Yeah, same here.
what else have you learned from your journey? Because obviously you said you've been doing this since like 2014-ish. So that's like almost 10 years. So how you would have learned a lot throughout that time. So what is your biggest learnings throughout your journey so far?
Um, my goals, what
Yeah.
motivates me,
Uh-huh.
my obstacle of life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My visual, you know what I mean? Um, things like, you know, make you what makes you motivates, you know?
Mm.
What
Yeah.
makes you get up and like look, I do this like I do this thing practically every day after work. My working is my relaxing. You know?
Yeah.
And well, after my work, pretty much that's my real work starts because
Mm.
I speak to a lot of company, I speak to a lot of people, you know what I mean? And today I had Dickies on my back, like you know the
Yeah.
brand Dickies, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just shut it down because it didn't look comfortable for me. You know what
Mm.
I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if something that I'm not comfortable with, I just let it go and let
Mm.
you know. I had Pepsi spoke to me I think this year or last year,
Mm.
yeah. And you know, it wasn't a great deal, like
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these big companies. So
Mm.
I'd rather work with people like you guys and lift you guys up, you know.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that.
But you know, I do have a close friend with Sneakerhead NYC as well.
Yeah.
And he's one of the top guy that I've actually had for the long time since I started. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
we had that friendship for long.
Yeah. So
So
what's yeah,
what
continue.
what I've learned is pretty much I don't need to stick on these big brands at all.
Mm.
And this is why we've clicked, me and you clicked in your brand because I've thought, wow, I mean, these guys are doing great. I like what the
Yeah.
idea of things like
Yeah.
the message that you guys are doing, practically you know, on the Instagram,
Yeah.
that is something. I gotta
Mm.
give you guys
Thank
credit
you.
for that.
Thank
That
you,
is
Pia.
good.
Thank you.
Fantastic job.
Thank you
You
so
know what I
much.
mean? There's not much people that can do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I gotta say, for clothing brand, that's very different. And look, there's nothing bad to be different. You should be blessed
Yeah.
because you're standing out of anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Kuya. Those are thank you for those kind words. Like, yeah, it's I was telling my partner yesterday like how so far we've done some small impacts here and there in some people's lives. Like we've given some people a platform to share their stories, and because of it, they were able to get a new job. Others who were able to get an opportunity for a new job. So it's like, we're making those small impacts here and there, and that's what we want to do. Like we want to share people's story, we want to share people's experiences, because I think it's just like what we've learned from other people. So it would be even better if we could share and create a platform for other people to share and help other people too.
But sometimes you have to be careful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
do.
there will be people out there that'll try and destroy you.
Of course. Yeah.
So you gotta have some guards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also be ready for it because you don't know when it's coming.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And like that's we even in the beginning stage of when we started this brand, we faced a lot of some criticism, some bumps in the road, which allowed us to grow and help us to become
That's
who
like
we are
me.
now. Yeah. So it's about, for us, it was like remembering to keep the purpose at the forefront. Remember why we're doing this. Like it's not for all this like material gain. It's for that purpose still of sharing people's stories, learning from other people, and just continually growing. That was the purpose.
I've got an idea.
Mm.
Have you guys ever thought of working for youths?
For youths?
Yeah, kids.
Oh yeah, yes. We had thought about that. Like last
I
year we
think
had
it'll
a
be
plan.
I think it'll be a great idea in
Yeah.
Melbourne. Just go try and concentrate on the youth center and make a little bit of a meeting there, like say 40, 30 minutes class for the youths. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, that we had a plan. Like initially, I don't want to reveal too much, but like because it's something we still want to work on. We wanted
Keep on it. Keep on it.
Yeah. Of course, we had to put it in the back end because a lot of stuff happened.
I gotta say that Okiru should stand for not just a clothing brand.
Yeah.
And focus on that, not just a line clothing brand. All right, it's something else. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, we're in the process. We're slowly. I'm trying to not talk too much about it, but we're trying to like split that into something else.
You don't need to split it.
No,
it could be all in one.
Yeah, one name, but there's two different departments where there's clothing and there's this bigger cause.
Yes, I'll give you an idea. Look at the Instagram of Lacekickz. You see kids, you see women's, you see men's, not just sneakers, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. See, that's your platform. That's what works for you, But yeah, like that is something we have considered, and we're still like building that team. We're still building that community together to
whatever you have now.
Yeah.
Whatever you have now, I think you can just focus on that.
You reckon?
Yes, you can do it. You guys, look, shout out to the team. You guys can do it. You have my word. You wouldn't be able to do what you're doing now if you weren't be able to do it at all. Right?
Yeah. That's true. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll take your advice, Claire. Let's
think. I think for me, like me and your team can have a little chat. What I mean? Because look, I'm doing my coach, and I'll tell you guys now that doing this as well, I think you'll uplift something and give you guys a boost. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like I said, I'm still learning myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it'll give you that lift that you can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you look at this big brand, let's say back in before even Ronnie Fegg started, right? Ronnie Fegg, that's the kid owner, right? He was just like us, trying to build a community, right? Trying to, and when Tommy Hilfiger interviewed him, because he was, he got his attention somehow. You know what he said? One line he said that I always remember, that he still got me this day, and I still bring it up to him sometimes. Right? He said, "Build, make the community feel like your own vision."
Mm. Mm.
You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Right. Make the community feel like your own vision.
So you're gonna feel like they part of your vision.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they are a part of that, and that's where we want to separate now, is how we can really focus on
how you can focus on doing that.
Yeah. So we are in the process of doing that. Yeah,
I think,
hopefully.
yeah, just keep going. Don't hold back, because you're wasting time when you hold back.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you waste time holding back, you guys gonna lose track and lose that gain of lose that thing that you're gonna go ahead with. That motivates you guys. You're gonna lose that bit by bit, and then it's gonna stop completely. So by the time, when you think of something, write it down. The next day, focus on it, do it.
Yeah.
Even write a list. You know what I mean? A checklist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bi-weekly. Like, there's a lot of things. I'll talk to you about it after this, but I'll give you guys some hints. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're always open to feedback, open to insights.
We can spread Okiru everywhere in Australia first.
Let's do it. Let's focus on Australia. Let's overtake this place. Let's do it, man. Together we can do it.
I gotta ask you. It's my time to ask, right?
Okay, sure.
Because you're doing clothing, right? And I think you guys would have, who was the ideal, and where you got the idea of clothing? Like, where do you guys get the idea?
Okay, so I'll give you a bit of story of how we started. So pretty much Gerald and I, like, we were church friends, and we had this church event where I designed the jerseys for our team. And after the event, he approached me and he was like, "Hey, let's start something. Like, I saw your design, like it looks so cool. I want to do something." And it's always been my dream to start an apparel brand. So we're like, let's do it. And then during that process of building it, we had stuff happen in our life where we were like, should we continue doing this, or do we give up? And because those stuff was quite heavy for us at that time, but we had each other to push each other forward, and building a brand actually helped us through those times. Like, it gave us a place to close out the world and just really focus on something we love. And then from there, we were like, we want this to become more than an apparel brand. We want to have some sort of meaning behind it, some sort of way we can create a greater purpose behind the apparel. So that's why we have Okiru, which means get up in Japanese. And yeah, that's how we pretty much started. We always wanted apparel. Like, we wear clothes every day. So it was like a way that represents us. It's what we wear, and through all our designs, there's a meaning behind it. No matter what design we do, there's always some sort of story or some sort of detail behind it. So, like, even with this shirt, like, it looks like a simple logo, but there's a lot of other details you don't see. It's on the left side where it's like where the heart would be. That logo is the heart of us. And then obviously it's the Okiru is pointing upwards. That means, like, it's getting up, So that's just the very subtle details already. And then even in our next launch, it's just a simple college sweater design, but in the college font, there's a pattern of tiger, which represents the tiger, which is strength and courage. But in the pattern is created obviously by me, but I wrote the names of our respective partners in there because they were like the foundation, the strength of our relationships as well. So it was the roots, So it was like there's a little bit of meanings behind everything that we do. That's why, like, we take pride in our designs, because it's not just like, oh, like, I just want to draw this and just slap on a t-shirt. Like, no, I want there's a bigger story behind it. And people who buy these designs, they can create their own story. They can create their own idea of what that meant, what the design is. So yeah, that's like how this all came to be.
I think I got an idea as well. I think you should, you know how you do those quotes on
Yeah.
Instagram? You
Uh-huh.
should put them on the shirt as well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
like
so.
on the back or something. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Well, we thought about it. It's in the design book somewhere. It's in the design book somewhere. Yeah, like it's something we want to work on. Obviously, like right now, we're very limited financially, so we can't. Obviously, we have so many designs, so many things we want to do. We have to really be pick and choosy with what we want to like bring out. And it's definitely something we've already thought about, like having a quote that really means deep to us that we want to
Yes.
post on the shirts. Yeah. But yeah, man, like it's beautiful. It's been a beautiful journey so far. Like we're very young in this,
You
so we got a lot of growth to go.
you've got, yeah. I mean, we both have a lot of
Yeah.
years to go, right? Like we haven't gone nowhere yet, but
Yeah.
eventually we'll get there. You know what I mean? But even talking, we'll get there, right? Ronnie Fag, right, said this to me the other day. No matter how popular or how big you are, you'll think you got there, but for yourself, you still want more, right?
Yeah.
You, you still want more and more and more. And
Yeah.
then I said to myself, man, he's got more.
He does.
He owns New York basketball team.
Oh wow, does he?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So pretty much, every rapper like in New York, he can get.
Yeah.
So I was like thinking to myself, man, you can get anything you want, you know what I mean? Like, so he said, like, pretty much when you get there, you want more. Which is true. You'll want more.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think wanting more
Then
is a bad thing?
what's the message on that is there's no limit on what to do. So just keep doing it.
Yes.
It's not about having money, not having funds. Just keep going. That's what his message was.
Yeah.
That's another thing that got me.
Well, that's it, right? Like that's how you kind of prevent yourself from being stagnant, right? Like having something next, something that you're working towards again. Whereas if you think you reach it and you just arrived and there's nothing else, what's the rest of your life going to be like? Like there has to be something else at the top of the mountain, right? And you have to go down eventually. It's just a journey of peaks and valleys as well. You go through your valleys and you reach the peak, and then eventually you have to go down again, right?
Yes.
So it's obviously that like kind of humbling yourself as well. I think it's very important. Like some of the most successful people you meet is obviously it's easy for them to say these things, but like I know deep down they have some sort of like humbling trait about them, because surely they went through all the stuff we're going through today. Like what we're going through now, they would have experienced that along the journey already.
Ronnie Fieg, he used to work with his uncle, right? On a sneaker shop. And back then, I think, pretty much he didn't know much about things, and then he started his own clothing brand like you guys.
Yeah.
And that's how he got picked up by Tommy Hilfiger. And from then on, Tommy, like the guy knew this guy was a bless. And he's got it on him because he doesn't stop.
Yeah.
He just kept on going, and look where he got him. He's got shop everywhere. He's got shop in over in Asia, over in Europe. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
And he's only been doing it for 7 years.
Oh wow, 7 years. That's pretty young still, 7 years, wow. But you gotta have that grit. You gotta have that keep on going.
Oh well,
toughness.
It doesn't count the time that he was like us.
Yeah.
He counted the time where it's actually built as kit.
Yes, yeah. still 7 years is like quite young. Like it's not like a decade. It's almost a decade, but 7 years is still a lot of growing as well. Um, we were talking about our journey, and I remember there was a point when we were talking, and you told me like you were gonna give up on Lacekickz. And I was like, well, why are we gonna give up on Lacekickz, man? Like, what happened?
Oh man,
You're
I'll
doing
tell
so
you,
well.
I did so. Like that day, I actually wanted to quit. It was the baddest day of my life. I'm still trying to go through my inbox actually. Well, I think it was, that day I was going through something, and I was just, before that, I was talking to JC, and apart from that, I had, JC two Lacekickz, and I was going through emotion, and somehow emotion got me, and I thought of something bad, and I thought I wanted to quit. A few people hit me up and said, have a think before you even do it. I had a lot of inbox. I had a lot of this. I said, oh shit, what have I done? And well, I think I'm not gonna do that again anyway. So it was my fault. I was I was overreacting and got my feelings.
Well, man, look, I'm not gonna let that happen, man. I'm not gonna. If you tell me that, I'm gonna be like, bro, like, don't quit, man. Don't quit, bro. Like, you've been creating this thing for so long already. You're helping us. You're helping so many other people. Like, don't quit on them. Don't quit on us. Don't, like, you got this, man. You're doing so many good things, right? So that comes.
Yeah, and that's how I started my coaching too. So I thought, if I wanted to pass on what I have, I think I should do coaching. So I did the course for long, short time period, pick myself up. I'm still learning for it. And I think 30-40 minutes with me, it isn't bad. Like, all you gotta do is hear my shit.
Can you tell us about that coaching that you do? Well, what type of coaching is that? Maybe people listening might come to you and ask for some.
It's pretty much guidance. A career and advice. If you want to be something and you can't get yourself together to do it, if you're dreaming, you know what I mean? Get up and hit that email and email me. Let's do this, And I'm pretty much, you can only have like 30-40 minutes with me, and I'll you tell me what you have, and I'll tell you what I think you should be doing.
Is that something they would pay for? Is that something you do pro bono?
I do this for the love of the game.
That's it. Man, that's incredible. Like, that's so noble to just do it because of the love of it. It's so pure. It's a pure mission as opposed to doing it for the money.
Like I said, you don't need 100 people, really following you, and you only need pretty much 10 people to realize what you're doing, and you leave something behind. You leave a mark, not just a brand, but in the heart.
That's it, man. But yeah, that's what we have, that we want to leave a mark somehow, right? That impact in our life, in the world, some way.
Especially these days. I mean, who's got the balls to fucking teach the young kids? It's all these days. It's all about flexing. It's all about what I have. How many shoes do I have? What watch am I wearing? You know what I mean? Things like that, man. For me, they're all nothing at the end, because you only have yourself at the end, right? And to have this kind of things, material things, it's not really worth it. Because I know a lot of people that I talked to, they even said the same thing. Friendship and value, like friendship, their value, you know what I mean? And family, number one. But when it comes to sneakers and clothing, things like that, man, for people like them, they wear it, the next day they throw it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Like
But
it's
people, I got advice. People that have those friendship, don't lose your friendship. Like, you know what I mean?
mm,
Treat everybody with respect,
yeah.
and be open. You don't need to be stepping on each other's toes
Mm,
because you disagree.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to be open to one another
Yeah.
to have that kind of relationship.
Yeah. 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 Having being open in your relationship is quite important. But
Mm.
how can we encourage those who are struggling to be open in the relationships?
Or you can't. That's the only thing, because some of them are stubborn. They don't want to learn, right?
Yeah.
Either that or they think they're too hard. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Or I'm better than you. That's
mm,
like my teaching, right? Like I feel like sometimes I'm a bully. You know what I mean? Because I tell them what to do.
mm,
I tell them this. Sometimes I feel guilty about it, but
mm,
at the same time, some of these people that don't have that motivation, they need someone to look up to that can actually boost their
yeah.
motivation.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. It's that like tough love sometimes.
Yes.
And like sometimes the toughest love is like the truest love because it's you're like
They're
fighting
not gonna lie
for
to you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They
yeah,
will
yeah.
tell you you've done mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you gotta do this to be better,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. So who do you look up to? Who has been like a mentor to you? If you want to share that, or you're open to sharing that.
Yeah, that'll be my brother from Philippines,
Yeah,
Antonio.
yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be nowhere if it
Mm,
wasn't for him. So pretty much, yeah,
mm,
he's taught me a lot of things, and pretty much the friendship I have with overseas, I wouldn't gain no balls, or wouldn't gain
mm,
no, I wouldn't have those kind of friendship without him.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
taught me how to, how to speak to others. He taught me how pretty much everything I do now
Mm,
resembles from him.
yeah, yeah.
That's what kind of person he is.
Mm, yeah. That's awesome. It's good to have someone to look up to like that in your life, having someone
Like an
who's
older
supportive.
brother.
Yeah, like an older brother or older sister, someone just to look up to, right? Like we need those people in our life who we can turn to in those times when we're struggling or looking for advice, looking for help, and they're always
Man,
open.
I gotta tell you, I always like when I talk to people like big names, they always they always give me lectures every day because they probably find me annoying, but there's kind of lectures are
Mm,
good. I gotta tell you, man.
mm,
I gotta tell you, these people don't know how they think. People just
mm.
think, oh yeah, they're popular, you know,
Yeah,
but they have feelings too at the same time.
yeah, yeah.
And one of them is like, one of them has to be the friendship, the loyal friendship.
Mm, mm. So would you say like one of the things that you've learned doing what you're doing is like relationships are important, like probably
Are
one of the
important.
most key things to learn and to have in any pursuit or journey.
Well, I gotta say first, for yourself, you have to step it up.
Mm,
You have to have that mentality, that you can do it.
mm,
Don't think twice. You know what I mean? You gotta get up and just do it. Second of all, that relationship. I mean, everyone in life, right, would have been accompanied with someone or something, right?
mm,
To
mm.
be able to get up there.
Yeah, yeah,
We can't get nowhere without having, having no company.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's part of it.
Mm, mm,
I mean, if I'm not lying, because every single people that actually got up there has those kind of people
mm.
around them, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's the tribe that I'm talking about.
That's it. And you can
you can never really succeed alone. Like you need,
No, you need each other
yeah, you need
because
each
you
other.
gain ideas from each other.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
some people take that, in the wrong way.
Mm,
But those people should really think that they should never think like that because
yeah.
ideas, man, like look, sneaker community, clothing line, they're all copying each other. It's just the way they do it,
Yes.
different
Yeah.
way of
Yeah.
how they're doing it, right? So that the thing is, that's why I said being different isn't really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's true. Like it's with my mate, we talked the other day. He was saying like, clothing brands so oversaturated. Like you have people making brands here, and then like they just keep popping up. But some people pursue it because of the money, and then some people pursue it because of the passion of it. And you can see it. Those who pursue it for the passion, for the love of it,
Or
those are
for
the ones that
the
stay.
big names,
Yeah, like they stay the longest, right?
yeah,
It's not some quick rich scheme that you can really do. Like,
yeah. You got to build that. You got
yeah.
to build up to get up there, and
Mm,
I think being different and building those kind of tribe, like I said, it'll get you there with those
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Same thing I'm
And
doing with you guys. I mean,
exactly.
I can't. My focus wasn't on clothing, so my
Mm,
focus was actually getting and leaving something for the people out there.
yeah.
So I think that's why I'm not throwing any clothesline at the moment. I'm
Yeah.
not doing nothing yet because even though I'm getting hustled to
Mm,
release, you know what I mean? I told them just wait, it'll come.
yeah.
But I think there's a good time where to release it.
Yeah.
And it's like a season. There's a good timing where to release it, and there's a good time where, you know, we're actually to stop and let people like you guys have a turn. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Thank you. Thank you,
That
Kuya.
that's how it should go from each
Mm,
one of us.
yeah.
Instead of trying to, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, trying to match him, there's no room for that for me. So you're not
Mm.
welcome to be around me if you're like that.
Exactly. When you're constantly comparing and looking at other
Yeah.
people, man.
It's not a good go for me. So
Yeah. It's not healthy. Like it's good to kind of like get some inspiration and a little bit of a boost, but you can't take your eyes too much from on other things, external like
mm,
sources, because at the end of the day, it has to come from you. You have to be the
mm,
person that does the work, take responsibility of it.
mm.
And every action you do, you gotta take responsibility of it. You can't be pointing the finger, playing the blame game like that.
No,
You gotta take
no.
ownership of your life. And it's hard. It's hard to take ownership, but when
It's
you
hard,
learn,
man. I
yeah,
gotta tell you, it's hard.
yeah. But when you
Because
learn to do it,
I, eh,
yeah.
like I gotta say, like running a community,
Mm,
it's very hard because you gotta be a sample. You gotta have a. I mean, there's people there that runs community, but they have fucking
yeah,
attitude.
yeah, yeah,
They think they're already up there because they run a fucking sneaker community. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? It's not a good go. Like it's not a good look. First
Mm,
of all, you got to learn how to respect each other's, right?
yes,
And to
yeah.
run a community, you got to be that person to hold that personality where you can show respect to others,
Mm,
not be a bully. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like you can't be thinking you're high up there already because you run the community. I mean,
Mm,
what's your goal in the first place to run a community?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
you
Exactly,
gotta have a goal to run a community. You gotta make a
exactly.
community is for changes. It's
Mm,
not just to run business or run things. I mean, it's gotta start with the community with business, right?
mm, mm,
So there you go. Like
yeah. I like how
again,
you.
that's another tip for people that want to start community there. Learn and self-discipline and
Mm,
respect others and
yes.
show how to speak properly to other people.
Yeah. That's important. Like having that
Mm.
self-discipline and respect, those are very, very important.
I
But
mean,
I
no one,
like,
no one's gonna waste time when you talk. You know,
Exactly. You have to
yeah,
show a level of respect, no matter what. Like, yes, you see each other as like humans, but you gotta respect each other's, time, and because time is something you can't replace, you know.
mm,
But like I was gonna say, you said something very important at the beginning of that. You said like you gotta be an example, and that is so true. Like for people to want to follow you, to be a part of you, to be a part of that community, you have to be the example first, you know. And
exactly.
you gotta show those traits, you gotta show those characters. And sometimes it can be hard because we are human, we're gonna make mistakes, like we are gonna be at fault. But at the end of the day, we just have to take responsibility of that. We have to take responsibility of our actions, and you just continue on. You gotta keep moving forward, right?
Yes, you gotta move forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing should hold you back. If you hold you back, I don't know, man.
Mm.
It did me once, but I'm never gonna do it again.
That's it. That's it.
I don't want the inboxes anymore.
That's it. Yeah. So where do you see, like, what's next for you? What's next for the community? What's next for Lacekickz?
Well, my target this year, I was gonna do because I love hip hop.
Mm.
My aim was to get interview all these rappers, and I was speaking to MJG last night. He did a recording, just the one recording with me. He didn't want to show his face, so I said okay. So yeah, I'm planning that on October, November,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I was just because I've got a passion for music, hip hop. So I thought, why not give it a shot? You know what I
Yeah, why
mean?
not?
And I speak to the people from triple XL, double XL mag. So I got a close friend there, and pretty much they help me too. So yeah, it's a blessing for me to have all these people because I wouldn't be able to do the things that I
Yeah,
want.
right, right. See, that's why the relationships are important, because it's through the
Yes,
relationships we
it's
can
got
do
to
so many
start
things.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
So people out there that's listening, don't be stubborn. Build that relationship with someone because you don't know what you can get from it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just not gaining a pair of sneakers of someone else.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Those material things, it ain't gonna last. I'm telling you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Like there's an expiry date for those things. Those
Yes,
material goods, they corrode, they
but
break.
friendship with relationship, man, I can tell you. Even JC, like I've watched, I've got two J's kicks
Yeah.
came up like from nothing to something,
Mm.
and that bloody inspired me so much. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. And yeah, until now, I told him, man, fuck, having that, having that shop and the same
Mm.
spot where he said he wanted
Yeah.
wow,
That's
unbelievable.
amazing.
He built his shop where he used to be a homeless
Mm.
and trying to sell, water,
Mm.
gain money to buy sneakers and flip it.
Wow.
Right. And he
Wow.
said to himself, one day I'm gonna have this spot because it's a remembrance for him. He
Yeah.
got it.
That's incredible. That is incredible. Wow. Imagine that, like how it just
Exactly right.
comes full circle, But it happens eventually. It didn't happen immediately. He just had that vision for itself.
He had that vision and he kept
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
He didn't care what other people thinks. He didn't care what other people
Yeah.
thought of it. He just kept going for,
Mm.
and again, he's got his own tribe.
Yeah.
And look at them now. They're doing sneaker con. I mean,
Wow. That's big.
hmm,
Yeah.
there you go. So it'll get you somewhere to the mountains where you want.
Mm. Yeah.
Again, that didn't happen just by himself. It happened, it happened with people around him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. With his tribe behind his
So
back. Like, that's it.
if people, people have that open mind that, oh, let's work together. Had that
Mm.
passion, oh, let's work together.
Yes.
Motivate you that, yeah, let's work together. You can be that.
Mm.
You can get that easy.
Yeah.
But people are too stubborn, close-minded.
Mm.
And I rather have that, you'll never get anywhere in life.
Yeah. Do you think that can change? People who are stubborn, do you think they can change? Do you believe?
Well, I hope they can change when they hear this.
Or we can only hope, right? And we can only do our best. We can try.
Look, yeah, you can try, but again, if someone trying to destroy you with it, all you can do is pretty much ignore it and just move on. I mean, you can only do your best.
Exactly.
Then
you can only do
they
your
can
best.
look back and go, "Damn, I wish I should have listened."
Those regrettable moments.
Again, right? Like I said, like you don't if you're gonna build something, make sure you touch people's heart. Be the person that actually part of the community. Don't be just a leader and just think you're up there like you're a president, and you're not putting yourself out there. You're not showing example. Well, what are you?
Yeah.
You're just part of the material thing, right?
Yeah, that's it. If you can touch the heart.
You gotta show your feelings, man. You gotta be out there with the community. Get in touch with the community. Be involved with the community. I speak to a lot of people every weekend, man. I swear, but for me, it's a good feeling. That's just talking to them, because it shows me how much I've gained that ability to be able to touch other people's heart, to get that attention,
Yeah.
And for me, that's I think I've done it, but like I said before, you just want to reach more. You just want to keep moving and get more, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I do now. So we'll just when we do that, release that collab, I've got something in mind as well. So
let's do it. It's cooking, Kuya.
Yeah.
I have so many other questions I want to ask you, but I want to be mindful of the time as well.
I'll give you one.
Okay.
I'll give you one. I have one question for you. All right. Since who do you guys idolize for the passion? Like sample, like Ronnie Fieg, Tommy Hilfiger.
Wow, that's a tough question. That's a really great question. I don't know. Joe would have to answer this question on his own. For me,
you can give him Can you give him a call and ask him?
He's a busy boy. He's in his family. He's with his missus right now, so I don't want to distract them. That's a good question, because I think there's a lot of people I look up to, and I can't put my eye and pick one. I guess
it's hard, right?
It's very difficult, because I think there's been a lot of people who've impacted me in my life, so it's quite hard. And I don't want to.
I'll do it easy.
Well. Okay,
I'll do it easy. What's your favorite brand of clothing?
Brand of clothing. Okay, so I've always been a Nike kid. Nike has always been like a brand I've always looked up to, and I think it's like every almost sneakerhead's dream to be a part of Nike in some sort of way, to design shoes. I think Nike is one brand that I really look up to, because they change the game. They always constantly innovating, constantly improving, and some of their designs are just incredible. So yeah, I think I do look up to Nike. When we initially started, we looked up to the other brands. What's the name? Cocaine. Have you heard of the brand Cocaine?
No.
Well, yeah, they're like a Japanese aesthetic brand. They started in Melbourne as well. We looked up to them because Melbourne started brand streetwear. I think it was just that hustle that they did, that grind. That was quite inspiring to see. Those are like just the two off the top of my head that I could say that I myself look up to, because I just respect the hustle. I respect the innovation and constantly improving.
Now I can see where you're coming from with your brand.
You can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
So hopefully we can do that eventually one day, have our own factory or, like having that big vision that we can create our own technology
like
or
like I
whatever.
said, like Okiru can just be a clothing
Yeah,
brand.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It,
yeah.
it could be a health line
Mm,
or
yeah.
something.
And that would be amazing to do. If we could really, if one day we
Man,
could really do community stuff, uh,
yes, it starts
uh,
off with something. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, just go. No, it doesn't matter how many people you have now. Keep
Uh-huh.
going.
Man, I feel so energized right now. I feel so excited. I feel so pumped right now. I have so much energy because
because
of you.
no, because for me, right, like I've close. Like, look, I've spoken to at least 10 big companies this
Mm,
year, and I look back and I think I don't fucking deserve that yet.
mm.
I haven't
Yeah,
gone that far yet. Man, I've only designed what, probably 10 different clothing of my own brand.
yeah,
And I think for me, like, wait, I gotta hold back. This is way too fast. Sometimes because
mm,
you do need to hold back, right? Because
yeah, yeah.
you want to actually get somewhere. Like, it's not enough for me to be
Mm,
to get there yet, right?
yeah.
And I think I've actually gone too fast that
Mm,
I want to go back and, hey, I want to do the things that I missed.
yes,
That's
yeah.
why I'm putting back the things that I loved on the podcast, which is
Mm,
hip hop, right?
mm, mm.
So I want to do that, go back
Yeah.
and do that because, look, at the same time, these people I'm coaching, I can't say their names, but I have one as a soldier, one's a
Mm,
dentist.
mm,
That the dentist guy, like, like,
mm.
he's a lot older than me, twice as older than
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
and he said to me, where do you get all this motivation to do this on your
Mm,
own time,
mm.
especially for free, right? I
Yeah.
said to him, look, it it's not about, like, it's pretty much how I want to spread, my kind of way of seeing and feeling and how to think.
Mm,
And for me to pass that on, I'm more happy with it
yeah.
than actually trying to get money
Mm,
off it. I'll rather spread it
yes, yeah, yeah.
because
And it's
that's a right thing to do it.
mm,
I think, you know what I mean.
yeah. It is, yeah. And you're doing it out of the genuineness, out of the love. See, that's a very important part of it from what I've heard from what you say is doing for the love of it and
Mm,
purely for the love of it. If you're doing it for that focus on for the monetary gain, it's not going to have that same effect if it was out of love, out of your heart. You won't have that impact. And you hear it. You,
exactly,
you hear from successful people like their journey started from chasing the money
man.
and they became miserable until they start to chase the things that they loved. Then it became enjoyable. They genuinely loved what they were doing, and the money became a byproduct of that. You
Yeah.
hear it all the time. See, so that's where I like to learn as well from other successful people, from yourself, from just everyone I like to meet in the world. Like that's one of the
Mm,
greatest ways to learn. Obviously, yes, education is important, but if you learn from people who have gone to those places, have been to the places that you want to be,
and
that's the best way
experienced
to
it
learn.
all.
Yeah, that's the best
Trust
place to
me.
learn.
I think, I mean, it's a gift for me to have those kind of friendship
Mm,
because it's guidelines for me, right?
yeah,
There's actually things that have learned from them,
yeah,
and I've learned a lot. And
mm,
I think, some people out there that's listening, you have a dream, like, again, stand up, do it.
yeah,
I mean, you can have a job from Monday to Friday, and those weekends, what do? Drink,
yeah,
party.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you're not chasing your dream.
mm,
You're not doing fuck all.
yeah, yeah,
What else are you gonna gain in life from not
yeah.
chasing dream?
You
I
have to
mean,
be.
yeah. I mean, if you do have a dream, go ahead and do it. You know what I
Mm,
mean? I've spoken to a lot of people that's up there,
mm,
and man, half of the people that knows me is like blown away. Like, how do you speak to these people, you know? And I said to them, man, like, if you got a dream, just step up, do it.
Yes.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Don't look at me, you know, look at yourself.
Exactly. Some people spend so much time, I want this dream, but then they keep looking at you or someone else and they're not doing anything for themselves. They just want to be entertained, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, again, I think those people too, like all of us have dreams. It's just we need some people that don't do it. I think they're not gain enough, or they don't have balls to actually step up to themselves, right? But or they're not comfortable with it, right? But I gotta tell you guys, it's gotta be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Everything that you do, it has to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah.
Why? You're not gonna gain success from it if you're comfortable of doing things.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go anywhere because you're too comfortable. You gotta be uncomfortable when you do the next step.
Yeah.
So then you look back and go, wow, I did it. Right? It's not like you're comfortable, then you've done it. But then what have you done? Because you're too comfortable. There's no changes to it.
Yeah.
At the same time, because you didn't put yourself into that position because you're too comfortable at the spot. So what the example? How did I even got this relationship with other people? Because I stepped out of my box.
And
you
stretched yourself.
Yeah, I've actually tested myself and put that position where, hang on, I can do this. Yeah. I can be this annoying prick today. But yes, and that's each one person, not just that's each one person. I've stepped myself out of that little box. Yeah, like the shoe surgeon. We've known each other for a while, and today we're just talking, and he was telling me, "Come on, you gotta visit America." I said to him, "No, come on, you gotta come here and visit Australia." And there's the kind of.
Oh, I think I lost you, Kuya.
There's quality, and there's things that you look at yourself and go, "Wow, I've gone this far. I've gone this far." Where other people is just, "Oh yeah, I wish I could do that." You know what I mean? And this is why it became me, because I wanted to share it with the community. Well, I tried to, but you know what I mean? Like I can only do as much because they don't want to do it because they're too busy too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I thought of coaching in another way than me trying to annoy it, because I don't want to detach our friendship because I'm keep asking the same thing over and over again.
Hey, that's all right, Kuya. I don't mind you asking. I love talking to you. I enjoy talking to you all the time. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to be connected with you, man.
I think there's a reason why there's two of us have this friendship. You know what I mean? And like I said, you can't make it out there with yourself. You gotta make it tribe, right? So this is the thing where I said you gotta share those things, right? You gotta have those things because you do need those things sometimes.
Yeah.
You can't just have one person talking about sneakers, right? What are you gaining from that? Oh yeah, what's the release? What's the release tomorrow? What's the release next week? Oh, did you cop? That's just shit all over and over again. You're not learning. You're not gaining from that.
Yeah.
So if you want to motivate yourself, go seek someone that's gonna take you somewhere that's better than material things.
That's it. That's beautiful, Kuya. That's wow. So much wisdom and insights in this short period of time. But I want to be mindful of time because I've dinner to go to. Let's definitely talk.
Let's make a part two.
Yeah,
and the people for out there that's listening, make sure you guys tune in for that part 2. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we both got this a lot to talk about.
We do.
And, people out there, if you guys want to reach out, my email is lacekicksaustralia@yahoo.com. That's for my coaching. You guys are more welcome to hit me up or even just ask me a question. You can inbox the Lacekickz or Dr Lacekickz Instagram.
That's it.
I'm here to talk to guys. Don't be shy.
That's it. Just don't be shy. Just send that message, and someone's
you got a question? Send it out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You want to know something? Send it out.
Send it out. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Anyway,
that's a step forward. It's a step forward.
It's a step forward. It's just, hey, like sometimes the 1%, you got 1% better every day, and whether it be just asking a question, that does a lot already. It does a lot already for us and for you. But just before we end, I'd like to ask you 3 questions, Kuya. Before we always ask these questions to anyone that comes on. What are you grateful for? What have you realized? And what is a question you want to ask yourself or the people listening?
I'm grateful for a true loyal friendship like you and I have.
Always.
What's the second one?
What's a realization you've had?
Realization, pretty much. You gotta guard yourself. You gotta guard. You have to have guard because people can attack you. I mean, attack you emotionally sometimes, but don't let it get there. I mean, it doesn't affect me when people does that to me. I don't take notice of it at all. I just brush it away.
That's it.
I mean, it just doesn't mean you're not for me. You know what I mean? It's like a relationship. You don't match. Fuck it.
That's it. Exactly.
And pretty much that. And what's the third one?
The last question is, what's a question you want to ask yourself or to the people listening?
Okay. I want to ask people that's actually listening, right? And you can comment down below on the Okiru podcast. What is your goal in life?
That's a good question. I love that. Anyway, thank you, Kuya. Thank you for coming on.
You're going to have a goal to have a mission.
You're going to have a mission. That's it. It all starts with a goal. Yes. A vision, Anyway, Kuya, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We really appreciate you coming on this podcast. And
I'm coming back.
100%. Like, of course you're coming back. I'm just so grateful for having you and this relationship that we have. So thank you, Kuya. Thank you so much.
We're just starting. Don't worry.
It's just the beginning, man.
It's just the beginning, man. Just the beginning. We're not even starting, we're not even there yet, so don't worry.
The car hasn't even started. We just saw the car. We're getting in the car. We haven't even started yet, man. We're going somewhere. That's it. Anyway, guys, we hope you enjoy this podcast.
Yes. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to your team, yeah? Much love to everyone there, yeah?
No, thank you to you as well. Thank you to you and your team. All the love. We feel your love, and thank you so much
part
for
2.
everything that you do.
Remember,
part 2 is coming. Part 2 is coming. No, it's gonna be more than part 2. We're gonna keep on going. Part 10, part 20, whatever.
We can do this as much as we can. I think we can put some educational things out there.
Yeah, definitely. We can work together on this. We can bring other people on. Let's create that tribe. Let's create that community. Right?
Hey, that's why we did a collaboration, right?
That's it. And we're just starting. This is just
like I said, we're just starting. Let's do this.
All right. All right. Thank you guys for listening. We hope you found value in this podcast episode. Always stay safe, always take care, and always get up. Peace.
Okiru.